දැන් කෑ ගහන්නකෝ. Hello everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. Everyone. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How are you, Philip, today? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right. Yes, now we have 13, including me, right? Yes. Shall we start then? Okay. Let's start our discussion, the last discussion on educational philosophy, right? I think you got a lot of information regarding that, and you could understand how it is applicable and how we have to study it, why we have to study it. Huh? Right, like that, we discussed a lot on educational philosophy. Right. Since this is the last day of the session, let's do some revision and let's study further about important philosophies in the field of education. Right? Yeah. I think you all can see this. Oh, sorry, something went wrong. Right. Okay. Yes. I think you all can remember we discussed three philosophers the other day, namely, can you remember their names? The three philosophers we discussed the other day? Can anybody tell me?
John Dewey,
Yes. Any other? You asked me to share the PowerPoint presentation, and I think you don't study the content, right? Only John Dewey. Who are the other philosophers? They are very important, right? Who are they?
Plato, Rousseau, and John Dewey, madam.
Yes, Plato, Rousseau, and John Dewey. Okay, right. And today we are going to discuss some other important philosophers. Who are they? Can't you see?
Karl Marx,
Mhm.
Mahatma Gandhi, Maria
Right.
Montessori, Paulo Freire,
I'm sorry.
Julius Nyerere.
Right. Who else? Who else? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll read their names now. Can't. Okay. Yes. Karl Marx, Mahatma Gandhi, Maria Montessori, right? Paulo Freire, Julius Nyerere. Okay. Right. Now you can just see the era where they were living, right? In which they were living. And then you can just think of how important their ideas are, right? Because I've told you, I'm always repeating that educational philosophy is actually a continuous process, right? It is a living thing because there are new things coming in, there are innovations, and because the world is changing, right? In the country, in the world, the social situation is changing, the cultural situation is changing, and technological aspects and the geographies and then the climatic conditions and the disasters, right? Like that, there are different changes in the world. Therefore, we get more and more different philosophies. But we can't forget the foundation, that means the ancient philosophical ideas, right? So then we have to understand each and every philosopher's core ideas, right? Each and every philosopher's core ideas, and then we can understand or we can analyze its role in the society, how it influences, how their ideas influence our society. Right. Let's start our discussion on Karl Marx. Okay. Now, first of all, please go through the content now. Um, Hello. Right. if we speak about Karl Marx, he emphasizes on materialism, right? So he emphasizes how economic structures shape society and consciousness, right? Just read them and see. Then, critique of capitalism, he highlighted the inherent inequalities and alienation within capitalist systems. Then, according to him, role of education within capitalist societies as reinforcing existing class structures. You know, the class structure in a society may be the lower class, middle class, the upper class, and the elite groups like that. Then existing class structures preparing workers for exploitation. That means workers were exploited. Then his vision for education, he sees that in a communist society, education would be a tool for liberation, fostering critical consciousness and preparing individuals for a life free from alienation and exploitation. Right? It would be integrated with productive labor. Right? His concepts were class struggle, alienation, ideology, and revolution. So once you think of Karl Marx, you can just see his ideas, how he thought about people, how he criticized the society, how he wanted the society would be, and how the education system should help people overcome their problems through education. So they are very important for us to know because these ideas are very, very important for a educational philosophy. Okay. Right. Let's discuss them in detail today. Now, just think of the society, right? Now, he says he focuses his attention on the economic situation of a country, right? Now, for example, now if you build a house, the foundation should be there, right? But according to him, the foundation of the society should be the economy. Now, economic development leads to education development in the education field. And through education, people can be developed, right? Now, he discussed and he focused his attention on how to share things like food, clothes, and tools, right? And then he wanted to discuss historical materialism. He said materialism because people share materials like food and clothes, right? And then the foundation of the society, he said it was the economic foundation. Now, the foundation can shape the house well if you want to build a house. In the same way, the economic situation, economic foundation can shape everything in the society. Maybe the government, the culture, and how people think, right? Like that. So then, if the foundation is strong, the building will be strong. Like that, he says, if the economy of the country is strong, the rest of the society will be all right. Okay? Now, let's focus our attention on capitalism. What do you mean by capitalism? Can anybody tell me? Because Karl Marx is famous for his idea, his concept on capitalism. Hmm? Right. It is a way of organizing the economy, and there's a small group of people, the capitalist people, right? And they own main ways of earning money, right? Like factories and the lands, right? There are the rich people, the capitalists, and they own the lands and factories and other property in the country. And most of the other people, they become the workers. They don't own much, right? They have to work hard for their living. And the capitalist people are benefited by them. Then capitalists make use of their labor. So then Karl Marx saw it was actually a big problem in the system, in the society. So he said there are inequalities, right? He criticized the inequalities, meaning, now capitalism is a set of ways that poor people, the workers, are made to work hard for their living. Okay? And there were some people with a lot of wealth and power, and some others with much less than that. Okay? Right. So then he criticized all these things, and he wanted the education to minimize those problems in the society. Right. Now we can focus on the word alienation. What is the idea about alienation? That means now we sometimes call in the society, I don't want to be an alien. Or you can just say there are some aliens, right? So then what's the idea? Alienation means now some workers or the laborers become separated, and they were actually discriminated. So that's called alienation, because maybe they just they just have to use their labor, and they don't have much property, they don't have much money, and then they can't decide on their things, right? So then they have to use their labor for the production in the country, and then they have to work hard to earn money, but they can't fulfill all of their needs. And they couldn't be creative enough because people instructed them to do this and that. And they were not creative, right? And there was a competition among different classes, different groups. So there were rivals, there were people who don't like each other. Okay? So then that is the idea about alienation in the society in Marx era. So, when Marx was discussing the capitalist society, actually he was quite critical about it. He wanted that the education system should be natural or neutral, actually, right? But he said that it was not neutral, okay? And he saw it as a way of reinforcing existing class structure. That means enriching or helping the class structure. Even through education, the class structure was maintained. He wanted the schools to change this. He often actually he wanted to teach these things to the workers and then make them accept their place in the society, right? Make the workers accept or understand how they are treated, what their place in the society. And but the workers were obedient employees for the elite class or the capitalist people. So then the capitalists expected their discipline or the punctuality and skills from the laborers or the workers. So Karl Marx actually wanted to criticize all these things, and he also had a vision for education because there are disparities in the society. That means he focused his attention on a communist society. Okay? It should be a communist society. Then there would be no classes, right? There would be no classes. Then the means of production would be owned by everyone. Now you can see the people's wealth is changing, right? Like that. If you are educated enough, if you want to earn money, more and more money, then if you want to start a factory, establish a factory, there should be the opportunity. So he saw that education should be a tool for what? Tool for liberation. Liberation means freedom. Freedom for people to earn money. Freedom for people to uh, get rid of their discriminations, right? Get rid of inequalities of the old system, the traditional system. And he believed that education would focus in this, right? Teaching people to think about themselves. He wanted us, he wanted them to think of themselves, to question, right? Without blindly following or without blindly following the instructions. He wanted people to think, and he wanted people to look at the world and question, and he wanted people to understand the social and economic forces which influence their lives, right? What social forces influence their lives, and what economic forces influence their lives, right? So he was very critical about the situation and how it should be was his concern. Okay. Now, he actually wanted to see the integration. Integration means he wanted to see that education should integrate people, right? That means being integrated with productive labor, right? Then he suggested actually, or he wanted to do a closer connection. He wanted to have a closer connection between learning and doing. Now remember, learning and doing. And He wanted a change in the field of education. He wanted intellectual development. That means the relationship between intellectual development and practical skills. That is the learning by doing. You impart, the teachers impart knowledge, the learner gets the knowledge, gain the knowledge, and engage in doing something. That means the intellectual or the development of the knowledge and practical work. They are to be integrated according to Karl Marx. Then he said he could, or the society could, make people well rounded. That means all round. And avoiding the discrimination or the demarcation or the alienation from the repetitive theoretical work, right? That means the capitalists try to give instructions to the workers, and workers blindly follow their instructions, and then the workers were alienated, okay? And the workers were exploited by the capitalist. Therefore, he wanted to be free from alienation and exploitation. Because of that, he has concepts like class struggle, right? He discussed the concepts like class struggle, alienation, ideology, and revolution. Right? Once you see these words, how changed. Okay, sorry, there's a network failure. All right, now it's okay. I'll share this again. Right. I'll share again. Can you all see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
You can?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah? Not yet, or you got it?
We can see, ma'am.
Ah, right, okay. I can't see it properly here. Right. Okay, right. Yeah, now you can understand how he put forward his ideas on the concepts like these, right? Because he wanted a change. in the society. Okay? He wanted a lot of change in the society through the process of education, and he focused his attention on revolution, class struggles, and people are separated from the others, and the political ideologies were criticized. He influenced a lot to the field of education. Okay, now please try to study further regarding his philosophical ideas on education. Okay, then I want you all to go for a question. Right. Yeah. There are simple questions I want you to focus your attention on. Yes. Can you answer the first question about Karl Marx? Yes, everyone, don't be silent. You all are teachers and you have to. All right. I get the answer, yes. Okay. Everyone agrees. Okay. Yes. Right. Yeah. He thought about the problem with capitalism. Capitalism was actually a crucial problem those days, according to Karl Marx and his era. So he struggled against capitalism. Right. There's another question about Karl Marx here. Question 6. What do you think? Did Marx believe that in the future work and learning could be connected? Uh, Intellectual development and practical skills to be connected? Did I tell something like that? For the second question, sorry, for question
No,
6,
no, ma'am.
what's the
No,
answer?
no.
Yeah, you can say yes, right? Yes, the no, the කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ. It should be yes. Why? I told you he wanted to integrate. Integrate what? Intellectual development and practical skills. That means work and learning. Okay? Right. Then please go through the other questions. Just go through the questions because we are going to speak about Gandhi, and then you can focus your attention on the questions once you are listening. And then Maria Montessori and Paulo Freire, and then Julius Nyerere. And yes, those are the philosophers that we are going to discuss today. If you can just read the questions and understand, and you can just have the special uh, philosophies or special philosophical ideas of the particular person. Okay? Just read them or you may take a photo if you want. I think some of you have learned about these philosophies if you were in national colleges of education. hmm, Maybe you have forgotten or you can remember. But anyway, you should know all these philosophies as you are part of the field of education. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next slide in the presentation. Right. Right. Let's speak about Mahatma Gandhi. Okay, right. Just go through the few lines here. Right. What does he say? He also emphasized learning through productive work, right? Integrating practical skills with intellectual development. Education should be self supporting, right? Then, holistic education, that's the main idea of Mahatma Gandhi. You can easily remember. Once you mention the word Mahatma Gandhi or his name, you should remember the coordination among body, mind, spirit, or we can just say head, right? Hand, heart, right? Now, his philosophy is based on three H's, people say. That means head, hand, heart. Because harmonious development of the body, mind, and spirit was his idea. And he wanted people to be truthful, and he focused on that ahimsa society. He said it should be an ahimsa society, that means non-violence, right? Truth and non-violence. Then he actually wanted education to be focused on values, values of truthfulness, non-violence, and social responsibility. People should understand their responsibilities. That's what he wanted from the process of education, right? In his era, he wanted different handicrafts to be, I mean, popular among people, right? So then, self-rule is one of his concepts, ideas. Self-rule, that is, he mentioned as Swaraj. Hmm? That means the country should be controlled, governed by people, self-rule. Then he believed education should empower individuals, right? The individual development and communities for self-governance, okay? And independence. People should be independent, but self-governance should be there. Then he had concepts like Sarvodaya. Sarvodaya, I think all these words, we use them in Sri Lanka, right? Then we had Sarvodaya movement. That means welfare of all. Sarvodaya means welfare of all. Then Swadeshi, self-reliance. Okay? You can just believe in self. Right. Then Satyagraha means the force of something. That means the force of the truth. Right? He discussed a lot on these ideas, right? And as teachers, you have to remember his idea on 3Hs. That's very important. He wanted people to be developed in all three aspects. And we also focus in cognitive development, affective development, right? And then what is that? Psychomotor development. Okay? Cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Right, like that. Means cognitive means knowledge, then attitudes, then skills. All these are to be developed if we want to develop a person, right? That should be done through the process of education. So people have to understand that. And Mahatma Gandhi, he believed that education was not for basically reading books and passing exams, right? He emphasized it was to the complete level, if it was about the complete development of the person, that means their hands, their head, and their heart. At the same time, he focused on basic education, right? Basic education, he wanted to be linked. He wanted to link it to do practical work. He too forced on, he too wanted the practical work for people. Right? Now, for example, about farming and harvesting and learning about mathematics for measuring for carpentry, like that. Now, our knowledge should be used for farming. What you learn at school should be used in the practical day-to-day activities or an industry or for agriculture. That's what he suggested. And learning was much more effective and meaningful than just reading about it. Now, for example, how you just read and understand a text. But if you are maybe for example, if you want to speak about or just teach children, maybe small children, about a farm where there are a number of animals, right? Then you can take them to a farm and give them the practical experience, let them observe, let them discuss, let them get the experience there. That's very important. Even nowadays, we accept it. Then, long ago, Mahatma Gandhi emphasized on that, right? Without reading a book, The learning should be effective and meaningful if there is practical work, right? And he also suggested the integration of practical skills with intellectual development. And even though we learn science, science should be connected to the science. Learning science should be connected to life or the industries or the paddy fields, like growing paddy, and mathematics as well, right? And then, he said self-supporting. Education should be self-supporting, right? Then he emphasized on the holistic development. Means I always said you, and I was mentioned you about the integration of the head, heart, and hand. Therefore, we need all the subjects, right? Now you can see physical exercises, you need art, music, and you know that you need the religion, right? Now in teacher education study courses in Sri Lanka also, now you can understand, now you can actually focus your attention on those uh, how those study courses are planned and implemented in the country. Why are they implemented like that? Because we need all round people. We need every aspect of the person to be developed. Okay? And then he believed on truthfulness and ahimsa society. Ahimsa society means there shouldn't be violence, right? People should think of the social values, right? People should be honest in the words and actions as well, right? So he emphasized on that. People should be honest. And then he wanted the concepts like Sarvodaya and all those things for the benefit of everyone, right? Welfare of all. That should be there in his society. Okay? And Gandhi's educational philosophy, uh, he also emphasized learning by doing, developing the whole person. That means actually we can say producing a total person, and value of the truthfulness and non-violence, and empowering people for self-governance, self-reliance. Okay, so then he showed us that education should be a powerful tool for that purpose. All right, please remember that according to him, education should be a powerful tool Sorry about the network failure and the interruption. Just let me use some more time. Right. Right. Okay. Now, can you see the correct slide now? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
madam.
Right. Okay. Yeah, only. Now only I got the correct technique to get the slide to the correct place. Okay, thank you for waiting and thank you for tolerating the technical failures and technical errors and then the power failures at times, right? Network issues. Those things are happening when we speak about the online teaching, okay? Right. Then we discussed how Mahatma Gandhi emphasized on the education system in a country. When you mention Karl Marx, you have to remember his ideas like historical materialism and capitalism, how people should be free from alienation, right? Free from exploitation. And education should be helpful for them to overcome the pressure from the elite class or the upper class people, right? The industry owners, landowners, landlords, like, okay? And here the class struggle and the revolution are his concepts, okay? And when you speak about Mahatma Gandhi, he focused on three H's: head, heart, hand to be developed, and his ahimsa society or the non-violence, and being truthfulness and self-governance. Those things are very important for his education system. Right. Now let's speak about Maria Montessori. Okay, just go through the ideas given here. Right. Once you see the name of Maria Montessori, from her name itself, you know her main focus was on preschool or the early childhood education, right? Then she emphasized the inherent potential of the child and the importance of respecting their individual needs and developmental stages. That means child-centered education is needed, right? And the environment. A prepared environment should be there for small children, and you have to create a learning situation, and that learning situation should be stimulating, and it should be very neat, orderly, and allow for independent exploration, right? At that age, at preschool age, children should be actually guided properly for exploration, explore the nature, explore the situations given, right? Explore the content provided to them, and the setup or the learning environment should be very neat for them, well arranged, right? They should see that from their own eyes. Then only they will try to remember and follow that. Okay? Yes. Then sensorial learning highlighted the importance of hands-on learning and engaging the senses. That means, I think you all can remember how preschool children, they are asked to cut and paste, and they are asked to draw pictures and color them, and they are hands-on learning. We draw a big circle and ask them to color within the circle, but at the very beginning they can't do it, right? So these activities are done for them, right? And they can use the scissors, the pair of scissors properly. They learn it, they cut the shapes, right? They try to do pasting and drawing pictures. Okay, so then the senses are highlighted in Maria Montessori's educational philosophy, and she focused on that. Then freedom within limits, that's very important. We need, actually, in the field of education, maybe everywhere we need freedom. But there should be a limit, right? That means they can select their activities, or they can select what they want, maybe the things among the things provided to them, and there should be a supportive environment, but there should be a limit for them. Okay, to guide them properly, we have to give them freedom and think of the limits suitable for their age, right? Now her concepts are absorbent mind, sensitive periods, and auto education, right? She emphasized on those things regarding the preschool age. Okay? For them, there should be a correct education system. Right. Now we can understand that she had a very different way of looking at children. Sometimes not like us, but as teachers, we have learned maybe educational psychology, and we know the guidance and counseling, and we know the different ages. When we study psychology, we have studied that how children are developed, and what are the activities suitable for each and every stage of the child's life, right? Now here, as most of us, and as some of our educationists, she focused on child-centered education, because children, according to her, children have a um, we should say, natural desire to learn, natural desire to explore. Okay, and she tries to understand, or make people understand, that each child is unique. That's very important. And even for you, I told you, the teacher has to understand the individual differences, right? And education should focus on the individual needs and developmental stages of child. Maria Montessori was speaking about the stages of the child. According to that, only child should be developed. What else I should say? Yes, now the environment should be prepared well for them, because now if there's a classroom, if it is very neatly arranged, everything has its place, and that the child goes to the place where the water bottles are, and they have to go to the places where the book racks are. Like that, the children can freely select whatever he or she wants, because everything is neatly arranged. And the activities, maybe there can be maybe there are different activity corners. And if the child is interested in drawing, let the child go and draw a picture. And if the child is interested in use a pair of scissors and cut some pictures, there should be a place for that. So then the children are learning by doing something, the practical work, hands-on activities. At the same time, maybe it's difficult for the teacher, maybe it's difficult for the authorities, but if it is arranged that the child can select the place, select the activity according to their own interest, that would be very beneficial. And the sensory learning, right? Child's senses are very important, right? They can see the rough things, and they can see the soft things. They can touch and understand. They can just look at the size of a thing. They can look at the shape of a thing and the color. According to that, they can just select. And they can look for the texture, whether it is rough or whether it is smooth or soft, right? And especially when she tells us freedom within limits, that's very important, even for um, grade 1 to 5, and then grade 6 to 11, and 12, 13 as well. Why? There shouldn't be a chaos in the classroom, right? There shouldn't be a chaos in anywhere, maybe when we go to the bank, when we go to the temple, right? We have to behave like that. Then she thought that children should be given a lot of freedom. That's true. But that freedom should be limited, and there are well prepared opportunities, okay? Well prepared learning opportunities for children. Then only they will be able to produce or make total citizens in the country, for the country. Now, once we ask the children to go to the school garden, and they know how to go there. They should be in a queue, and they should go there, and they know how to uh, be there. That means maybe they have to stand in a circle, or they have to stand in rows like that. The freedom is given for learning. At the same time, we have to let them study, let them know about the basic rules. Okay. And she has the concept of absorbent mind. Why is that? Absorbent mind, I think if the paper or the blotting paper absorbs water, right? That means easily gets things from the environment. A sponge gets the water easily, and without a conscious effort, the child can absorb many things, right? So we have to be very careful in front of children. As we all know, we have to be alert how they are observing adults. Adults should set the example. Then they will absorb the correct things, right? Yes, auto education means self education, right? Self education is important, and children can do that. And Maria Montessori believed that if child is given the environment, right? We have to actually provide the proper environment and materials for children, right? They automatically learn things. Then we have to understand that there's a lot of preparation for children's education from the part of the teachers and adults. The teachers and adults should set the example and they have to create a favorable situation and then understand the nature of children. Okay? Right. Then I think we can go to answer 2, 3 questions now. Let's try to get the questions. Right. Okay, questions are jumbled, but I think that now from time to time we can speak about these people. Mm, number 2, about Gandhi. Is this correct?
Yes, madam.
Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, madam.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I think we all can agree with that. Gandhi also wanted us to think of making children involved in doing activities, doing practical work. Right. Then question 3, Maria Montessori. What do you say?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Yes, classroom designed to let children choose their own activities. Very good. Yeah, now you can remember these ideas. No need to study hard. Then once you mention the word Maria Montessori, you can get the idea. Right? Like that, little by little, please try to be familiar with each and every philosophical idea. Right. We don't speak about Freire now. Then no, Karl Marx believe එක අපි කතා කරා නේද? Learning could be connected. Yes, Mahatma Gandhi. Number 7. Yes.
Yes,
What do you
madam.
think? Gandhi think
Yes, ma'am.
yes or no? Yeah, that's right. Very good. Now you can understand the importance of these questions. Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi wanted people to be truthful and peaceful, truthful and non-violent, right? Nowadays, even in our society, we need these people, right? Sometimes the society is full of violence and we wanted everyone to be non-violent, right? Yes. Then number 8.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I think no.
No, බලමු දෙකක් තියෙනවා උත්තර නේද? There are 2.
Yes,
Does
ma'am.
Montessori, uh-huh.
Yes,
Does
madam.
Philip, please think again, read it and see, Philip. Does Montessori education use special materials for children to learn with their senses? Sensory education, for that, do we need special materials to study the texture, study the shape and colors and everything? Do we need special materials? Yes. Okay. Now, please understand we need special materials for children, right? Then we studied about Karl Marx and Gandhi. Question 12. Did Gandhi believe education should only focus on reading and writing?
No.
No.
No, madam.
Very good. Thank you. Yes. Okay. In a Montessori classroom, do children have some freedom in what they learn?
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Madam.
Yeah, very good. Yes. Why? Children have some freedom. Yes. Because she said freedom with limits. Okay. There should be some freedom. That is correct. Yes. Number 15, right. Okay, that's about Nyerere. And then we'll move on to our discussion once again. Right. Um, there are another two philosophers that we have to discuss. Right, these ideas are very simple and I think you all can understand easily. And then you all can remember for every purpose of your life. That means for the job and for your maybe family life, for your children, your own children and the children at school, and for the purpose of examinations, right? And for your education, maybe higher education, like that. Right. Then we move on to Julius Nyerere. No, there should be another one. What's it? Right. Pablo Freire. Okay. Now see the era 1921 to 1997. Right? It's recent past. Okay. Quickly go through his ideas now and try to understand. Right. Now, let's see the co-ideas. pedagogy of the oppressed, right? Now here also there's a separated group. According to his point of view, he focused on empowering marginalized, oppressed communities through education, right? That means he wanted those people, the marginalized, the vulnerable sector to be developed through education, right? And banking concept versus problem posing education. Now, you know, you deposit money in a bank. In the same way, we have to deposit the ideas, right, into students, the knowledge, right? Criticized traditional education as a banking concept. That means the knowledge is deposited into passive students. And he wanted to understand, or he wanted to discuss problem posing education which encourages critical thinking and dialogue. Means we have to speak to each other, right? Then conscientization, the process by which learners develop a critical awareness of their social, political, and economic realities, right? Then dialogue and praxis emphasize the importance of dialogue between teachers and students, right? We all accept that. In your classroom, there should be a proper conversation and the integration of reflection and action. That means fraction, right? Reflection and action in the learning process. You need to reflect and act. Now, once you just see, for example, if you think of action research, right? Then you start it, then evaluate or reflect on the results, and then again you go for another cycle of an action, right? Like that, he wanted the integration of reflection and action. Okay? Dialogue, praxis, conscientization, liberation. Okay? Right. If we focus attention on his ideas, he speaks about the pedagogy. That means the teaching learning context, right? He actually maybe thought of actually social justice, right? Now you can speak about Karl Marx, and now he's Paulo Freire, and social justice should be there according to him. Empower the people who are marginalized. That's important according to this philosopher, right? And then education should help people who are treated unfairly, right? Who denied power, that means who are actually denied power, they don't have power, right? Though some people are treated unfairly, those should be free because of education. Education should do that. The responsibility of education to make those people free. But he criticized the traditional education systems. It didn't do that, but he wanted to help those people. That means in social injustice to be eradicated, right? That's one of his ideas, right? Then the banking concept versus problem posing, as I told you, the traditional education was like banking concept according to him, and in that model teacher should be the expert, right? Now you have heard like jug and mug model. Okay, teacher becomes the teacher should be the expert and deposit knowledge into students, right? And the children are like, for example, empty containers. Then students passively listen to the teacher, get the information and memorize it, right? But if it is, if it is changed to problems of posing education according to him, there is learning, right? People understand, people focus their attention on real life problems, and it is encouraged. It encourages people for critical thinking, and there's a lot of dialogues between teachers and students. And then instead of just receiving uh, the whatever the teacher gives, the children can question. Children uh, ask the questions from the teacher, and they receive the answers. And the students and the teachers get together and work together, and they can discuss and solve problems in their context, right? These things are happening nowadays in our classrooms. Therefore, you can just relate these ideas to your context. Okay. Then dialogue and praxis emphasize the importance of, once again, I am telling you, the importance of conversation in the classroom between the student and the teacher, right? Once the student asks the questions, teachers can exchange the ideas and consider their ideas, right? And then there should be a very good relationship between the teacher and the students, and learning happens then, right? According to him, there will be a lot of learning because of his idea. He says that there should be a combination of reflection and action, right? There's a lot of conversation, lot of exchanges, right? They exchange ideas. According to him, the liberation is very important for them, right? That means the freedom. And there are, maybe the students are controlled, and the people are controlled. Maybe they are oppressed by some others. So it should not be like that according to him, right? The freedom should be the destination for children. Okay? Through education, they expect all these things through education. Respectful and equal opportunities for the learner in the context, right? And then there should be the evaluation, and then the reflection and action, and then the world can be transformed, and there's a lot of freedom, and then the social and political differences, the realities to be there, right? All these things happen in the system of education. Then the marginalized people are benefited through education. They get the liberation, they get the freedom. Right. Now, we'll just check about Paulo Freire's idea. Sorry, Paulo Freire's idea with the questions once again. That's not the question. Okay, just see. Right. Okay, can you all see the questions now? Now we answered questions on Karl Marx, Gandhi, Montessori, and number 4. Did Pablo Freire think teachers should just deposit information into students' heads? Did
No,
he
madam.
think like that or not? What's your idea? Teacher, did he agree with the idea or not? What's the term he used for this one?
Banking concept.
Yes?
Banking concept.
Banking concept, ma'am.
Banking concept. Did he agree
No,
with
madam.
that? No.
No.
Then the answer for this question should be, the answer should be, did he think like this?
No.
Right? Answer should be no. Did Paulo Freire think teachers should just deposit information into student heads? No, he didn't think like that. Okay. And number 9. What do you see? Question number 9. Did Freire believe that
Yes, ma'am.
talking and discussing ideas is important?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Talking and, yeah, the dialogue or the conversations are important in learning. Right. Let's see, there are any other. Yes, question 14. Did Freire think that it was important for students to think critically about their society? Yes or no?
Yes, madam.
Yes, right? Yeah, okay. All right, that's all. Huh? Now we have to speak about one more philosopher. Next one should be this. Right, yes. Julius Nyerere from 1992 to 1999. Right? Yes, let's read there and understand how he put forward his ideas on what aspects, right? Right. Julius Nyerere. Core ideas. Education for self-reliance. Emphasize the need for education to be relevant to the social, economic, and cultural context of Tanzania, promoting self-sufficiency and national development, right? Yeah, he focused on self-sufficiency and he focused on the context of Tanzania, right? So then there should be the social, economic, and cultural context to be developed, right? And then socialist education. He wanted for an education system that fosters a sense of community, cooperation, and social responsibility, aligning with the principles of Ujamaa, that means African socialism, right? Now he had socialist ideas. Then mass education, educating the public, prioritized providing basic education for all citizens to promote literacy and national unity. Okay, now promoting literacy was one of his ideas, right? Because providing basic education for all the citizens. Then integration of theory and practice. Now you can understand almost all the philosophers say that there should be integration, theory and practice, right? He believed that the education should combine theoretical knowledge with practical skills relevant to everyday life and national needs or the country's needs, right? Now you can just say Ujamaa means African socialism, self-reliance means self-sufficiency, community development, lifelong learning, and what's that? Yeah, lifelong learning. That's the mistake, right? Democratization of education. I don't think that it's necessary here. Right, that's a mistake. Okay, these things are enough for us, for our purpose. Okay, right. Then these are his concepts. These are the ideas of Julius Nyerere, and he is a very famous philosopher in the modern day society. Then you can just say he was the first president of Tanzania, right? I think you might have heard it. Okay. He had a strong, what can I say? He had a strong vision for education, or he wanted his country to be developed, right? And the values also to be developed, right? So then he linked this education and values. Only he linked the development of the country and values together. That was his idea, right? Then focusing on self-reliance, he wanted that the education should be relevant to the especially specific needs and context of his country, right? But we can just study how he wanted to develop his country and how we can make use of those ideas in other contexts. Then he wanted the education to promote self-sufficiency, right? That means the teaching skills should actually grow economically, and you know that the people in that country think of agriculture, the local industries, community development. Why? He wanted the national development, right? That means self-sufficiency should be there in his country, and maybe people should be self-sufficient and the country can be self-sufficient, and then through that we can understand he wanted the national development, right? Through the industries, through the agriculture and the community development. Then the other idea from Nyerere was that the socialist education, right? The socialist education, that means he emphasized on the community, the cooperation among people, and social responsibility. He wanted the school, the teachers to teach students to work together, care for each other, and contribute to the betterment of the society rather than thinking of his or her success, right? So, those are very good ideas put forward by him. At the same time, he focused on mass education, that means basic education for all the citizens. He wanted to promote literacy in his country, right? He wanted everyone, every individual to learn. The basic education was to be provided to each and every citizen in the country. And then the people, he wanted people to understand their rights and responsibilities. Both, not only the rights actually, both rights and the responsibilities. Okay. He too emphasized, like Mahatma Gandhi, the integration of theory and practice. Okay, theory and practice to be integrated according to him. And then his the self-reliance was very important, right? The nation should depend on their own resources, right? The nation should be self-sufficient. But at the same time, the community, the progress and the betterment of the community, the local community should be there. And he also emphasized the process of education. It should be the lifelong education. Okay. He too emphasized on lifelong education among his people, right? The people in his country, right? Okay. Yes. Then we have discussed Nyerere's ideas, and then let's check whether you can remember at least few ideas put forward by him. Then you can focus your attention on all the philosophical ideas very easily. The thing is, you don't, most of you see it's very difficult for us to remember things and then study these things. But you know now, little by little, I think you have become familiar with all these philosophical ideas, right? Now let's see. Julius number 5. What do you say? Did Julius Nyerere want education to help Tanzania become self-reliant?
Yes,
Yes,
madam.
What's your
madam.
Yes,
idea?
madam.
Okay, yes, thank you. And then we can move on to question 10. Did Nyerere want all people in Tanzania to have basic education?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, okay. Then is there any question? Yeah, the last one. Right? What do you think? Did Nyerere believe education should help build a sense of community, the community development?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right? Yeah. Okay. I think these questions help us to remember what we discussed so far, and they are these philosophical ideas of these people. Did you get a photo of these questions, or how can I share this? Or the Yeah, please take a photo if possible, and you can share among your friends, right? You can just get 9 to 15 now. And then 1 to 8, like, let's see. All right. Yeah, if somebody can share it in the chat box, would be better for the others if they couldn't get a picture, right? Once you study some theories, you may prepare some questions like this, and then you will be able to understand and remember their philosophical ideas or any other important idea, right? Okay. Right. Then let's go to the conclusion. Right. Please go through this part quickly. Right. Now let's speak about the conclusion now. And you know now you studied the ideas of different philosophers. They sometimes put forward totally different ideas. Even then, we can accept in the field of education nowadays, right? We can accept their ideas, and there are sometimes few ideas you can I think I should say, you cannot agree with according to your own philosophy or according to what you have learned. Some of the ideas or some of the suggestions cannot be practiced in the society or in the context of education, right? Now, but these are their ideas. Most of the ideas, almost all the ideas are like very significant, and we can continue. And their ideas influence learning, teaching process today, right? Now, once again, if we speak about Karl Marx, he made us think critically, right? That's always we know that he is critical about the issues at that time, and then the society and economic system should shape the education according to him, right? And inequalities were the problems at that time, right? And the education should be a tool for liberation, right? That's actually still relevant, okay? Education should be the tool for those people, right? The people who are deprived of different sorts of things, right? You know, now the powerful people, and then you know the people who have a lot of wealth like that, and through education people gain many things, right? Yes, Gandhi, he actually he mentioned that the holistic development of the people, that means the development of head, hand, heart, means knowledge, skills, attitudes, at the same time learning by doing, and the role of education in building the character, means non-violent and truthfulness. And at the same time, he too promoted self-reliance and peace in the country. Then Maria Montessori gave us a deep respect for the child's natural learning abilities. Okay. Questions in the chat box, right? I'll try. Yeah, somebody is asking for the questions to be there in the chat box. I'll try. Yeah? Right. Then Maria Montessori, and yes, she thought about the child's natural learning abilities and the importance of creating environments that support their independence and sensory exploration. Yes, we have to let the child to learn through exploration, hands-on activities for children. Mm? They are very important, and the classroom or the place where they learn should be well arranged, right? And the child should be free for them to select different activities, but that freedom, there should be a limit. Okay, for that freedom, there should be a limit according to Montessori, right? Yes. Then the rest of the ideas. All right. Now, Freire, according to him, he emphasized the power of education to empower the marginalized, the importance of critical thinking, dialogue, and the need for education to lead social change. Yes. Now, through education, he wanted to the separated people and the neglected people in the country to be given the correct opportunity and empower them. Okay. And the critical thinking to be developed, and the conversations in the learning teaching process to be developed, right? And need for education, and there should be a social change through education. Education should be the tool for a social change. Then Nyerere, then he showed how education can be linked to national development, social values, and the importance of providing education for all. Right, yes, the education should be available, the opportunity should be made available for all in the country, and then the national development through education, and there should be emphasis on, actually according to him, there was emphasis on social values. right? So, we have come to the end of the lesson. Now, here, these ideas are relevant because these ideas, these philosophical ideas. Now, we learned that philosophy means inquiry, that means ask questions and provides answers. Okay. And then, they address the fundamental questions about the purpose of education, why there should be education. And we understand the role of the learner and the teacher through different philosophical ideas and the connection between the education and the society, how society should be, how education should be a tool to change the society. And in the society, there are class differences and there are different issues. How education can solve those problems in the society, right? So then they encourage us to think. The philosophical ideas, the philosophers encourage us to think beyond their traditional methods, and now we can think of more equitable, engaging, and transformative. That means the modern methods, right? And people are attracted to our teaching learning process. Okay, right. Then we can actually uh, let the children explore, let the teachers explore their works. That means explore the philosophical ideas, gain a deeper understanding, and then you have to be insightful. That means you have to be teachers with a personal philosophy. Okay, right. Now I'll quickly try to share the presentation, and there's a power failure and my battery goes low. Right. Thank you very much for everyone. And I understood that you are enthusiastic in learning. And then I think you all know the importance of these sessions. And yes, is there anything that you want me to share with you except the PowerPoint presentation today? Hmm? Technology at times gives me a lot of trouble, but let's overcome all the problems, right? All right, at last, now I can share the number 6, right? Quickly do it. Okay, I think you all can see this now, the whatever, yeah, what is the presentation, right? Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Then I'm sorry. I think now I can't share that Word document. So, is there anybody who got a picture of the questions? Can you share it to the class?
Ma'am, we didn't
Ani.
receive your
PPT.
PPT, ma'am.
PPT, I sent it to you, and it's like with a green tick, and it shows that you got it.
No, madam.
Is there anybody who has got it?
Yes, ma'am, I got
Is-
it.
Annie, could you please send it to us?
Yeah. Please send again.
Okay.
I am trying to send again, but some other person has to send. Right. The pictures also, I mean, the questions also, please try to send. I'm sorry, since it is the last day, but the thing is, there's a power failure and no way of talking to you further. But anyway, I'm happy that there are enthusiastic people, and you have the necessity. Right, you got the picture now. You have the necessity to learn. I know that you have to pass the examinations, and I think for this semester you learn only this part, right? Philosophical foundation of education or educational philosophy. I think you have to write. Okay.
Madam, still
You
we
have to
didn't
write.
get PPT.
PPT, somebody shared, no? No? What do you think? Hello? Do you think that you didn't get the PPT?
Yes.
Now I am sharing the questions first.
We got Asana's questions, 2 photos. We got that.
Shown to me that I have sent before Ashana's pictures.
No,
You didn't
madam.
get?
No, madam. Annie, could you please send it, madam?
Right. Yeah. Then can somebody send the WhatsApp number to the chat box or send me an email address? Right? If I can't send it now, I'll send it to that email, but you can't share with the students. I mean, with the other friends. No, no connection like that. Okay, somebody wanted the questions. Is that okay now? There are 8 here. Get a picture and then the rest of the questions here. Quickly get it. Okay? Right. Now I'm sharing the other one. What is that? The PowerPoint thing. Right, let's see. Right. You see? Right. I think now you all can get it.
No.
No?
No,
Why
ma'am.
is that?
Madam, you are sharing it to everybody.
Oh. The other days I just drag and put it here in the chat box and you got it. I did the
Yes, all the
same
other
today.
days we got it, madam. Today we didn't get.
Oh. Maybe since it's the last day, that PowerPoint doesn't like to be with you. That's the problem.
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes?
While you are sending the presentation PowerPoint, ma'am, in the two you mentioned meeting group chat, ma'am. That
Meeting
in the
group chat.
two in the two section you put meeting group chat, ma'am.
Where is that? Where is that? Yeah. Direct message.
No, ma'am, meeting group chat, ma'am.
Education.
It's already in the chat, madam.
Yeah.
In blue color.
Right. I did it all the other days and I do the same today. Don't know why you don't get it.
Madam, you sent it me private message.
To a name.
Yeah, ma'am.
So
You got
Maya,
it?
could you please send it to
Sumaya?
us, Maya?
Sumaya, you got it?
Yeah, ma'am. I got it.
Nee, right. Okay. Please share with your friends, right?
Okay,
I'm
okay,
happy now. Otherwise, I feel very sorry about you.
Send it to
And you
us.
won't be very happy with me then. Right. Now, Sumaya, please do whatever you can, even though I might leave due to this power interruption.
Madam, if you
But
leave, then we can't
uh,
download it.
you can. You can. If Sumaya does it, you can. Right? Sumaya, please do it as soon as possible.
Okay, madam.
Right, she'll do. Yes, I can remember some of your names. I think in the future also we will be able to speak to each other in a different session, right? And then I think you all got a sound idea. What do you see about the educational philosophy? So Maya, please share it now.
Okay.
Is this, whose number is this? All right, Sumayya's number.
So Maya,
Yeah, you
can't
can
you
send.
send it now to this chat?
Wait, I will try.
Don't know what happened, but I get the green line, green tick, and shows that you got it. Don't know why. Right. Till Sumayya sends it to us, what do you want to say? Do you want to say anything now? And I advise everyone to study hard and get an idea and combine your theories in the classroom, right? Always the philosophers said the same, combining the theory and practice and the practical experience for children and the opportunities for exploration and all that, right? So then I wish you all good luck. And then if you all are lucky enough, Sumaya will share it now. Yes, Sumaya. Share means in the chat box. Okay, everyone please send a WhatsApp message to Sumaya and get it, right? Why is she silent? Zana. Champika, Mahishi. What happens to Sumeya now?
That's what, madam, we are waiting for her.
Huh?
We are waiting for her.
Let's see another method.
Thank you, Sumaya. We got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, dear.